Welcome to the Do You Know Who I Am podcast. It's your boy Jay Legend, and this is episode 3. Who we got in the building today? Introduce yourself.
Hi, man. How you doing, people? My name is Malcolm Jackson. Just a humble guy with a dream. That's it. Trying to make it day by day. Trying to elevate, get better, 1% better every day. That's about it.
That's the goal?
Yeah, it's the goal, man.
How's your mental health? Like, how's it been so far? Like, what you been up to this weekend? Or this week, sorry.
So as far as my mental health goes, I'm all right. Like, everything's cool, because at the end of the day, I still got this mission. You feel? I still got this vision for myself. So
right,
ain't nothing gonna stop that. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
just gotta keep elevating. That's about it. As far as like this week though, all I've been doing, bro, just working, focusing on my body. I did start the side hustle. Been working on that as well. And yeah, that's all been taking my time. Yeah,
that's a side hustle.
Nah.
No, I'm messing with you.
Nah. Side hustle is legit. It's legit. It's nothing crazy, but it's definitely scalable. You feel me? So
I feel like in New York specifically, you have to have a side hustle. Like
absolutely.
Even people that's making 100K plus, they have 2-3 jobs. You know what I mean? I know people like, not to get sidetracked, but add on to what you're saying. Like I know people that's making 100K that's doing Uber still. It's just that. I saw a meme on Instagram. It was like, what's something rich that you do, right? Someone said living in New York, and that's just facts. Like you have to have something scalable on the side. So I salute the side hustle. You know what I mean? And I'm just wishing nothing but the best for it the next 3.5 months of the year that we got left.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Saw you at the gym this morning. This man just dedicated, rain, sleet, or snow. He doing pull-up bars. You know what I mean? Bro. He's doing everything. So, like, how did your fitness journey start? I know, like, it had to start somewhere. So, like, how did it start?
Yeah. So it happened. It started in 2020 during the pandemic, right? And I was home, right? And I was sitting there, and I looked at myself in the mirror, mad scrawny and shit, and I'm like, nah, this got to change.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And there's something else that led to that. But we'll probably get into that later. But for the most part, I was like, nah, I gotta change.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm tired of looking skinny.
Right.
And then from there, and at the same time too, my other boys, they was also getting into fitness too.
Right.
So that also gave me motivation to start. Because it's hard to start by yourself.
Oh, for sure.
You feel me? So it's kind of easier to start where like you have a tribe of guys with you that's also on that same mission. And till this day, like we still on that same mission. Like it's not only me doing the fitness thing. Like I have a group of friends who also into that fitness thing. I'm also inspiring other people to do it. Because other people come to me like, yo, like, I seen your videos. I seen your stories on Instagram. I seen your page on Instagram. Like, yo, listen.
I'll be asking you, like, yo, what do you know what I'm saying?
And straight other people be asking me, like, yo, what do you eat? What's your diet like? What do you what's your workouts? What's your schedule? Even like when I'm like, this happens at least once a week.
Yeah.
People stop me. Oh, what do you do? How you got your body like that? So I'm like, so you just gotta level up, man. You just gotta keep pushing. And I'm so glad I looked in that mirror. Yeah. So glad everything happened that culminated to me getting my shit together, getting into the gym at least,
So let me ask you with that, right? What you said. What's making you stay on top of your goals? Like, what are your motivations? Like, what is something that pushes you to be like, yeah, I got to keep going?
Just not being complacent. I think complacency, that's a disease. That's not a disease, but I just think that as a guy, you should always try to keep trying to elevate, level up.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're men. How should I put this? We're conquerors. We're always on the move. Like, you even hear from chicks themselves. They say men who just sit around and do nothing all day are boring, right? And not to go off on a tangent, but
go ahead.
A chick would she'll forgive you faster for cheating rather than you making her bored. You get what I'm saying? So you got as a guy, you always got to be constantly on the move, and I've heard that from chicks themselves. Like, they told me like they like guys who are constantly doing something, rather than just sitting home all day or just not doing nothing. Not doing nothing.
And I think girls be testing you too when they say that, because you know how some girls, like, if you with them for a long time, or like if you have an established relationship with them, you ain't gotta be like they man for real, like, but they would be like, okay, like, yeah, babe, you're doing your best, you're trying, but if they really to see you out here just venting and not making the moves, because like to some women, like if they just see you moping around all day, or like if you're constantly just telling them certain things, you might be doing some small actions, but what you're saying and what you're venting about can override all the small actions. So now they're like, oh my God, here you go again with this. So that looks, even though you're vulnerable, that looks weak to them. Like you said, like they want to see you on
a mission,
on assertive, conquering, exactly,
on
like a mission. So if you are not speaking like that, even though you might be moving in a way where you're trying to get back to that, they're gonna have different interests. They might look at somebody like, oh yeah, I like this guy. Like he's already physically attractive, but I just like how he carries himself. You know what I mean? Even though you had a head start with them from the established relationship that had, like, where you were assertive for a long time. Because sometimes when you lose that assertiveness, that confidence, that mission, like you said, that drive.
Because I was gonna say this, not to cut you off. A lot of guys, when they do get into relationships, they get complacent. They stop doing the things that made them attractive in the first place. And it's like, no, you gotta keep. Even once you get in a relationship with a girl, that's where the job, that's where it really starts. Like, you gotta keep on pushing. You gotta keep on going. You gotta keep going. You can't sit down a lot, because not to sound crazy, but there's no guarantee that she's gonna stay with you forever. You feel me? So because she could easily get bored and run off to another guy, which is cool. Like, it happens.
Sometimes it's just our turn.
She's never yours. It's just your turn, right? That's how the saying goes, right? And that saying didn't come from nowhere, right? It didn't just pop out of nowhere. It's literally, when you look at the landscape, right? If you're aware and look at the landscape, you see, like, it really is like that to a degree, right? So if you do mess with a chick, or in a relationship, or she's just a fling or whatnot, still be on that mission. You still gotta, this is gonna sound crazy, but you still gotta act like you could be single the next day, or she could leave the next day. You feel me? So
like you said, like, you got, like, I feel like women, if women would, I know it might sound crazy, but it is what it is. I've heard women say this before. Like, I have, like, you have girls as friends. They tell you this all the time. Like, they want to be with a man that can make them feel like they can lose them. Like, so they want to be with a man like, oh my God, like, he got all these girls lined up. Oh my, like, not girls lined up per se, but like, oh, girls are chasing him. Girls are interested in him. They interested in what he do, how he look, what money, all his status, his power, per se. They want to feel that fear. So if
it's called competition anxiety.
Right.
That's what it's called,
So they want to feel like they're the ones that took that man out the game, even though that's not the correct term per se, but they want to be like, they want to feel like they're proud to have you, and vice versa. Because no guy want to be with a girl that been around or is still peaking interest with other. In a sense, like me, I mean, we all been around at our big age, but I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying.
Still showing that they have these regressive traits where it's like, oh, if I'm here, don't put me back here as a man. You know what I'm saying? Because we want our women to just be in a sense where, like, we could be proud of them. And that's why I feel like a woman, like, they want to have that sense of urgency. I wouldn't say fear per se. I would say urgency. Like, I can't be complacent neither. You know what I'm saying? Like, because as a man, like, if we're not providing, the roles get reversed. Because you hear the saying all the time, I want to be in my soft girl era. Women always say, I don't want to be aggressive. I don't want to be masculine.
And it's crazy because, and it's crazy. They always get to that realization when they're like about to hit 30, out their prime. They're a little bit older, a little bit more mileage, And I get it. You in your early 20s. Gas tank on E. Gas tank on E. And I get it. You in your early 20s, you having fun. A lot of guys are after you. So there's a dopamine. There's a dopamine hit for years and years on end. So, and once that dopamine starts to go away, it's like, you look around, it's like, I mean, a lot of...
Like, because, I read something. They said, like, short-term, long-term fun, right? When for women, when you're younger, and you head to the clubs, you head to the events, you're in these spaces where it's like social, you're gonna meet a lot of guys for short-term fun. You know what I mean? Because for men, we are physically attracted to the woman, or the ballers come to these places, people with money come to these places. All these factors come in.
Yeah.
So you think you have all these options, but then when you get older, certain things change. Your sense of fun change, your sense of entitlement change. Same thing with guys too. So now it's like physically you might be peaking on your looks, not saying that they get ugly.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, for guys, we still gonna look younger. We're gonna look for younger, not saying young women, but I'm saying like we're gonna look for women that's in a range that we prefer.
Who looks more youthful.
Youthful, there we go. That's the word.
Because they I had read a study, right? And they polled guys from all over the world, right? And universally, guys like girls between the ages of 18. No, guys find girls the most attractive between the ages of 18 to 24.
Right.
Right. And if you think about it, those are the age. That's the age where they look the most youthful, the most exuberant, the most vibrant. You understand? So, and remember, we're visual. Like you said, we're visual. So, when we look at chicks, it's not like we're looking at like, oh, she's 19, so I'm gonna go get her. Da da da. No, we're looking at, oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. She was young and beautiful. I'm gonna go get her. Not saying you should go after 19. Don't do that.
Yeah,
you feel me? Like, but that's what the studies basically is saying. You know, so universally from 18, and this is from guys around the world.
But that's where, and I'm glad you said that, because a lot of older men, they try to groom these young women and stuff like that. But me preferably, I like over chicks.
What's my
cutoff?
Yeah, what's your cutoff?
I've dated a woman that was 4 years older than me.
Okay.
But for me, like, a cutoff is like, okay, like, I can't date a woman that's like, because I've been through this, so I'm not gonna date a woman that's like 4 or 5 years younger than me, because they might show some maturity in the beginning, but then it's like you see the differences. Like, if you're a man that's serious, trying to get serious, you could see the differences in the age once you start getting
to know them, right? And everything, yeah. That fake version of them when you first meet them be the best, right?
Because they like, you have these deep conversations and stuff like that, but then there's levels to it. Not saying that a woman can't be there, but it's like some women are still trying to have fun with their lives, and they might have environments that they're in that they can't get out of yet, or they might have friends who might hold them down. So for me, preferably, I can't date a woman that's 4 or 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
Same with the age-wise too. Like, I'd rather someone either my age or like maybe 3 years, like 2-3 years older than me.
Yeah.
If they're in a different position than me in my life.
Okay.
I don't want to date an older woman that I have to.
Yeah, like, I feel you.
Help in that situation, because like there's different baggage levels from different ages. So that, for me, like, from experience, like, no. I could use a perfect example. Like, I was just, my last one, she was 3 years younger than me. Like, she still was seeing life differently than I was.
Yeah.
Even though she was very mature in certain aspects, she still had a lot of growing up to do. And she still had friends who were miserable. Like, oh, if I'm gonna be single, you're gonna be single too. Like, oh, let's go here. Let's go to the club. Let's go. Like, she had friends.
She was doing that. Like, she was telling you, like, let's go to the club. Let's do this.
Yeah, she had friends that was always going out all the time.
Yeah, that's that'd be the worst when you're dealing with a shorty, or right, and her friends are like for the streets, for lack of a better term. That'd be the worst, because he's not. So now, because now you have to come in and try to like be.
You gotta be your boyfriend, the best friend, and the daddy,
and the dad, right? All in one, right? And that could also result in some pushback. That could result in, oh, you're insecure. That could result in, oh, you're controlling, da da da. And then that could also result in her friends saying the same thing. You feel me? You remember that you remember that Boondocks episode with I think it was like season 1, right? And Granddad, he was messing with some chick. And like, it was that crazy chick that knew Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And throughout that whole episode, she was on the phone with her friend.
Yeah.
And the friend was constantly giving her bad advice, right?
Yep.
And at the end of the episode, the friend drove her to kill herself.
Yeah.
This is literally, that's a metaphor for what's literally how female friend groups are.
They will drive you off a cliff.
They'll drive you off a cliff. They'll actually make you self-sabotage your relationship, you know? So, like you said, you got to be...
You listen to Trishas, you become a Trish.
Yeah. So, that's, that's something I tend to stay away from when I'm dealing with chicks. Like, if she have, like, odd friends, I would kind of like already put in the sex only category.
Right.
You know,
right.
As bad as that sounds, but you have to like when you're dealing with chicks nowadays, you got to come in through you got to deal with them through a
background check.
You have to do a background check. You have to vet them.
Absolutely.
Have to vet. Yeah, and
you can't just be letting this control your mind because like they might listen. If a girl know you have status and she knows that you have power and you have all these people on you, she is going to give you the best time of your life, that definitely. First impression, and then you gonna like some guys, they crash out, they fall into it like, yo, bro, shorty did this, she did that. Yeah. I need a cover. But then you have to think like, okay, like why you want to cover? Just because she gave you amazing sex, she gave you like no, you know what I'm saying? Like some girls are wham, like I said in the first episode, some girls are wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and some girls are keepers, you know, and when you try to divide the two, it can be confusing.
But you gotta, I know, I understand. I definitely what you're saying, but at that too, you have to realize like a lot of guys, they would easily give relationships to the first girl that get they fucking dick wet. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of guys operate from a scarcity mindset. Because if you, there's another study that said 1 in 3 guys haven't had sex. Oh no, 1 in 3 guys are single and hasn't had sex in a year. That's crazy when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? So once they do find a chick, right, they barely got her by the skin of their teeth, right? They having sex or whatnot. Yeah. They already on it. Yeah, they whatever she want, they they got it already. You feel me? So a lot of guys operate from a scarcity mindset rather than a mindset of abundance, which is how you have to operate nowadays. You can't operate from scarcity because that's like a recipe for disaster. Because now certain things you're conforming to her, right? Now you're in a position where you're outcome dependent rather than outcome independent, right? So now she wants to go here, she wants to do this, and you're like, okay, babe, okay. Even though in your heart you're like, I really don't want you to go to the club. I don't really want you to do this, but you're scared to say anything because you're scared to push back. Because you're scared she's gonna leave. Like,
but that becomes eggshell energy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that's more. But from what you're saying, when you have that dynamic, you lose your assertiveness, and you also lose the respect from them.
Yeah.
Because now they control things.
They control the frame. Yeah.
You can't regulate how it is because now you try to regulate how it is. They put that fear into you, like I can leave you if you want. Yep. And like you said before, it took them so long to get to that hurdle to get wet.
Get the girl,
And so now they're like, damn, like I don't want to spend another year
alone.
I don't want to keep doing these dating apps and not having success or whatever it is, like going on dates with people. You don't gotta be the app, like online, in person, whatever. They don't want to lose that opportunity anymore. So a lot of factors come in, like age. You come into like being on the drought again. Like they're not having the confidence to be like, yeah, like I'm me, like I can do this. Like
take it or leave it.
Right?
I'm me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah, pretty much. In shorter term, take it or leave it. Like and you have to have that mentality, not just in relationship, just in life. Like, you have to have like you got to just be assertive in everything. So like if you are allowing yourself to let other people dictate how things go, it's never going to be an outcome that you need. Like you said, it's going to be your chest hurting all the time. Like you're going to wish you spoke up in different instances where it could have had them respect you a lot more, even if it wasn't the right thing. I mean, the right thing they wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you on that, like for sure. Like I don't like that. But I wanted to talk about something, right, in that aspect, since we in that phase, right? So I was reading something while I was watching a YouTube video, and the guy, he broke it down to a science, right? And I agree with him with what he said because I feel like in the world that we live in, it's in the dating world that we live in, like it's very important. Like the whole phase, right? Like, do you think he was basically saying, like, do you ever truly believe that someone could get out of a whole phase, right? So he broke it down. It's kind of like a long video, so I can't really tell you guys in a long summary, but to make it short from what he said, he was basically saying that two instances, right? If you're in a relationship and you're a guy, sometimes the more bodies you have in certain
as a guy, this as a guy, okay,
then the less you trust women. Because sometimes, like for me, because he explained it, he was like, he's had experiences where he was messing with married women and things like that, and women were posting how happy they were and how and they were very secretive in the relationship. Like, you would never think anything. So he was like, the more experiences he had, the more fine he looked, he said, and the more money he had, the less trust he had from women, because the higher his body count went, he was dealing with different types of women. So that was one thing. So he's like, for a guy, it could be like, oh, I can't trust women because of how I am with my experiences and how I love sex, right? So he's like, I don't think. But he was speaking. Well, he showed two sides of his growth. He said that's how he used to think. Then, as he grew, he stopped thinking like that. He was basically saying people can get out their whole phase as long as they don't have the impulses to fall back on.
Okay.
So he was like, as long as you are willing to grow and show signs and the discipline to grow and not fall back to your fixed urges or urges that you are accustomed to, then yes, technically you can get out the whole phase. But he was saying, if you are someone who always act on impulse, you will never, ever cope with having the relationship that you want to have, because no matter how healthy or how happy or how mentally prepared you might be, if you don't have the discipline to change, you're always going to fall back and be detrimental to your relationship. Because, for example, I was like, damn, like he's speaking to me because I was in a situation where we was happy, we was fine, we were good, but she had really bad impulses, and no matter how much she tried to change, 2 months, 3 months into it, she fell back every single time. And it's like, as a man, you'd be like, how long can you take this? Like, how long can you deal with someone who is mature enough, who's aware of what she's doing, but then she gets to a point where she's so overwhelmed that she doesn't care at that particular time. And at that point, you're like, damn, it's hurting you every single time, and it's hurting the relationship. So for me, I had to pull back. I had to remove myself. So I feel like that's why I agree with what he was saying. I feel like, per se, like, I feel like, people can't get out the whole phase if they have those impulses all the time. Things of that nature. So I guess I was trying to ask you the question, but I answered it.
Nah, yeah. That's cool. It's cool, bro.
But yeah, so
I'm listening.
I guess I could ask you this question: like, can you be with someone like knowing that they have like a certain amount of, like, we don't have to put a number on it, but like certain amount of bodies, or do you prefer, like, would you even ask a woman that?
No, I would never
ask that.
No, I would never. I prefer not to know.
Right.
But how you can tell through like actions, behaviors. You could like, it's to the point now where like over the years, I know you dealt with a lot of chicks, I dealt with chicks, not to brag or anything, I'm not bragging, but it's to the point
we're
where
retired. Our jerseys in the wrap.
Nah, my jersey's still on. I'm sorry.
Still on?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Damn.
It's still on.
Okay, I'm
only young. I'm still young, man. It's still on. But
go ahead.
It's to the point where you could tell how a chick is based off her IG.
Yeah.
You don't even, and it's to the point where you don't even have to click into the profile. You can just look at her profile picture itself and just tell the type of chick she is from that. That's how easy it is, So,
or what they like on Justin LeBoy posts, but
Or you can you could
game,
here's how you could tell. You could tell you could tell from their profile picture, their bio, definitely, right? You could tell by who they follow. If they follow like like the City Girls or even Justin LeBoy, all that fuck shit. Even I would even say if they follow like Shade Room Spiritual, all that fuck shit, you could tell like, all right, she probably Either has a whole phase in her whole phase, etc.
Or she's always posting like money stuff as goals, or like Bali and all this stuff as goals.
Yeah, a lot of validation seeking behavior. Yeah. That's you could tell. But
and that's a sign that a lot of guys are not a lot of guys, but guys are in the DM selling them a dream.
Yeah.
But it's not the guys that they're looking for.
Yeah. Because the guys they're looking for aren't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because the guys they're looking for understand, like, why would I be in the DMs? Like, I have a mission. Like, because the guys who's on their shit, they're not really out here trying to chase. Like, they're not trying to like DM chicks all day, every day. That's time consuming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have better things to do with your life, like just like trying to get 1% better every day. You know, so you don't have time to be DMing chicks all day, liking chicks' pictures all day. Like, nah, like.
And you gotta think about, like, if I'm really chose, right, then why would I be presented in the DMs? It gotta be a reason why I'm presenting the DMs. That means they're looking at you not as a keeper, but as someone that they're trying to sleep with. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
I've never seen a man, for the most part, like, a man that's serious shoot his shot on the woman's DMs and try to take it to like a deeper level. Because like you said, what they present is what they are interested in. So they're like, oh damn, I really want to cuff this girl. Like, it depends on what they're presenting, though.
I don't think you should ever like go into, when you're dealing with chick, go into with the standpoint of I want to cuff her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should never ask the chick, oh, what are we? She has to be the one to ask you, what are we? You know what I'm saying? Because that puts you in a position of power. Sorry to say.
Yeah.
But we're more, how should I put it? When we have the leverage, we aren't horrible people to our chick, right? If we're dealing with chick and we're in the position of power, have the leverage, we ain't gonna treat the chick like, oh, like shit.
Right.
But vice versa.
Yeah.
If she's the one who has the leverage, has the power, has the ability to like, you know, look at you as like, oh, I could leave this guy any day, she's gonna treat you like shit. Right? So
she's gonna be checked out.
Yeah, check. And she checks out here first. Right? Once she checks out here first, up here,
it's over.
Done.
Yeah.
Clip.
You can't ever get back to that point.
No, it's done. The only way you can, if there's a can, is if you level up.
Right.
That's why you always gotta be. It always circles back to you. Always have to be on the move, constantly doing something with your life. Always can't be stagnant, can't be complacent. So that's how it is. You feel me? So, but going back to how what you was asking me, would I ever deal with a chick that had a whole phase and whatnot? It's hard because how it is nowadays, a lot of chicks had whole phases. You ain't gonna find a chick who didn't have a whole phase. You feel me? So it's either you gotta find, at this point, you gotta find the chick that is like out her whole phase, right? And go from there. You feel me? Like vet her, you know, like watch her closely for like 6 months to a year. And you know,
make a year for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but that's the starting time. 6 months to a year, right? Watch her actions. Sometimes you even gotta like leave them alone for a bit and see how they are like on their own. You feel me? So you have to do that. Like you have to vet the chick that you're with. So I think, you know, how it is out here now, like you're not gonna find a holier than thou chick out here. It's tip for that. All that's done. And I'm not saying like that is a bad thing. Like it is what it is. Like I'm just what you gonna do about it? Cry and complain about it? Nah, like it's whatever.
It's like certain things we have to just accept.
Yeah.
You know, if we were trying to get into that space that is, you know, when you're dealing with somebody, because like you said, like everybody comes with baggage.
Yeah. Everybody, so you, me, everybody.
It's a give or take on what you need from the relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So so for you, it sounded like you single. There's a couple of girls asked me when I did the photo shoot with you. They was like, "Yo, who's that man you shot? Like, like, can you put me on?"
Yeah.
So ladies want to know, like, are you single? Well, are you single? Like, you dealing with somebody single, or like you single? Like,
I've been seeing this one girl for about what we went through in August. About 5 months now, right?
Oh,
so everything has been cool. Not saying they have other prospects, but like she's she's cool. Like she's she hasn't done any like whole shit yet. I'm not gonna pour my eggs in one basket, right? So
I mean, still, if you don't want to speak too much on it, we can, you know. But
no, it's cool. It's cool. It's all right. It's cool. I will say this though. I'm still in the process of vetting her per se, because I'm not like out here like I'm not in the mindset. Oh, I want to wipe this girl up. But
when you mean vetting, like, what do you mean? Because you know, some women might hear that term and feel like, what do you mean by vetting? Like,
see if she's like good long term.
Oh, for you, okay.
Yeah,
like vetting. So basically, the term vetting.
Yeah, what we were talking about. Vetting is pretty much like watching her actions. You know, see who she is.
Okay. Like you're evaluating her.
Yeah, evaluating. Like if she's a good long term
fit for you.
Yeah, for me. And that's up to her to make me want to wife her, because you know we have two different games, right? Our game is to get the sex, right? Their game is to get wifed up. You feel me? So it's up to them.
It's to show that they're a keeper.
Yeah, it's up to them to do the things that make me say like, okay, cool. Like maybe you know, I could see myself with her. That's their game. That's up to them to convince me of that. Just like how it was my game to convince them to have sex with me or have sex with whoever, like, you know, me per se,
Because you know, just to add on before I ain't the control, but to add on to what you just said, for guys, we have 3 zones with that, right? Like it's the sleeper, keeper, and then we have the sweeper.
What's the sweeper?
The sweeper is like girls you wouldn't pay attention to, but they all on your body, right? But then, and then it's also the girls like you fuck when you down bad. Like you be like, yo, bro, I just took one for the team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then there's a sleeper like, yo, she bad, she bad as fuck. But then it's like, oh, but she don't do this, she don't do that. I can't cuff her. Or like, oh, she fucked my man's, but she still let me hit. I can't cuff her.
Yeah, that's clear.
That's a sleeper. Like, okay, not saying your man's per se. But I'm just saying like. I'm just saying like, oh, she knew like she fucked somebody that I know of. Not saying your man's, because I like, you know, I don't do the bro like, you know, hit my bro girl. No.
Yeah,
I'm saying like, she hit this nigga back in college that I know about. Like I can't.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like
once you know
like
the estimate, bro, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, but like you have girls who have all the qualities, but you can't put them there. You know what I mean? Like that's not someone like you can introduce to your mom or stuff like that. But they're cool. Like sleepers are basically like friends with benefits, or like women like, you know, that just are cool with. Most women not cool with being sleepers down the line, but like you gotta play to your role, man. You just put them, you know, and girls have that zone. Girls have these zones too.
Yeah,
they just have different.
They got way more than
like they put different things into their zones.
They got the, you know, this guy, you know, picks me up here. Right. This guy gives me money here.
Yeah.
They got this guy
because girls can move you up. But I feel like this is what I was saying. Like guys already know like that's the one for them. Like they won't say like, oh yeah, me and her gonna be together one day, but they won't like. She has serious potential to be my girl.
Okay, yeah.
Like off rip, like first day, whatever the conversation, like you can feel it, you know.
Yeah.
Like girls, they have a lot more options than guys. So sometimes they might chase certain things first and then try to build you into that zone. But they already know that they want to fuck you. But they're like, he has all these other traits. He's a good guy so far. Let me see if he has some bad boy qualities.
Bad boy, dog triad traits.
I don't want to move so fast. Let me test him. Let me put him through the ringer. Because girls do test you. They want
constantly.
They want to see if you're going to say something back to them on purpose. They want to see if there's going to be like a yes, ma'am, yes, mom.
And that goes with some guys who are, if you're a guy dealing with a chick, you have to be outcome independent. You know what I'm saying? Not outcome dependent. Right. So, you know, if you're outcome independent, but chick do something that you don't like, you can call her bullshit out. Right. But if you're outcome dependent, you don't want to you want to walk on eggshells, don't want to tether the line.
And again, you make a great point. So when you call them out, that's when you know if she really likes you or not. Because
that makes you more attractive too.
Right. But if she don't like you when you call her out, that means she never saw you as a potential guy. Because now she's checked out. You just flew into the sweeper for her. You're not an option no more. Now you just give her the ick. Like, why are you saying this to me? Why are you talking to me? You know what I mean?
Like, fuck now,
now she'll text you like 10 days later. Oh, I'm sorry, I was asleep. I've been busy. I've been caught up in my life. Now you become one of those guys. You don't become that person that had potential anymore. You know what I'm
become the emotional tampon.
You become a Casper.
As I like to call. A lot of guys are in that role. The emotional tampon role.
Yeah. had to take a.
We was all there, man. I was there.
We all
been there, bro.
Game is game. We all been there.
You know what's crazy? Our parents never taught us nothing about like dating or like how to like maneuver. We have to go out there and like learn.
Your parents Caribbean? Your parents Caribbean, right? Yeah, they.
The only thing, I never got to talk from my dad because he passed away before I even became come of age of like dealing with chicks. Right?
Sorry for your loss.
It's all good, thanks. And my mom, the only thing she told me was wear a condom. She didn't tell me, oh, you know, girls respond to this, chicks don't like this, da da da. I had to go out there and get burned. I had to go out there and get fucking, you know, hurt. I had to go out there and, you know, like learn. You feel me? So, and you become better for that too.
My mom, right? You do become better. Like you said,
if you don't let it destroy you, because you know,
some people turn into a dog. Yeah. I remember I was in my super dog phase where I was like. I just looked at women just like, okay, we just doing this. I never gave about cuffing them at all. I was like, whatever. I didn't care about breaking hearts. But then like I got into a relationship like that I really wanted to be in. And then it made me a lot softer. Then you get burned and you learn. Right? Like that's the thing. Like you trial, error. So like my parents, my mom always said like just get your money, stay focused. The girls would come. Like she was on some like power. My mom was like, she's a tough love type of woman. So she was always like power runs things. My dad was more caring, right? He was more like you treat women like this, treat women like that. My mom used to be like, I will walk all over you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's how it is. But their dynamic is different. Like, cause my dad's speaking from an older perspective. He was not like that when he was younger. He was more assertive. My mom always said like he was more assertive, more thing. You know, like he was a family man doing what he had to do as a father, as a man. And that's what won her over because he was really straightforward and he did not back down from her. Like, so my mom was always saying, like, look, you gotta have power, you gotta have
leverage, Yeah,
you gotta have confidence.
Yeah, you have to be confident.
You can't back down from any woman. You can't let nobody, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But because my mom was always saying, like, a woman has to be a woman. So, like, if you see any bad signs, you have to run. Like, bad signs mean, like, masculinity all the time and just being treacherous.
Yeah,
for shorter term, like in any stage, like you have to run because you don't want to be trapped with a baby. You don't want to be caught up with no STDs. You don't want to be, especially now with social media. You don't ever want a nigga to ever say like, "Yo, I had shorty like this while you was together."
That's
no matter how good you do, that's a irreparable damage that you can't fix. So you always have to assert your dominance and stuff like that. My mom always taught all of us that, you know what I mean? And then you know, like, not saying assert your dominance don't mean you're not soft. That's not what it is. You're just making sure that you maintain.
Put your foot down.
Yeah, you put your foot down and you're just doing manly things. You're just being a man. Like, you know, you don't ever want to be in a situation where you can't be a man or be like yourself. That's in relationships, you play basketball, whatever. Like you don't, in a workspace, you don't ever want someone to just come in here, just bully you, just put the elbows on you, and you're like, I don't want to get fired. you know what I mean? Like that's the first thing you say. Like, I don't like what he did, but I don't want to get fired.
Yeah,
speak up.
Yeah, speak up.
You know, like,
speak up.
But there's some people like that. They're like, oh, okay, you know, why can't he do it? Let him do it. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's certainly dominance, and they're like, oh, you know what I mean? You have to speak up, defend yourself all the time. You got to be in rooms like where you feel like you belong in, and not because you're in there, like you step in there, you're just in the corner, just watching everybody. Be in the center. Sometimes you don't have to say nothing. Sometimes what you wear, sometimes how you present yourself is the aura that you need. And that's what my mom and my grandma, my late grandma, she always told me, like, just do that, keep God first. And just be a man, you know?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Just be a fucking man.
Don't be a sweeper. Don't be a sweeper.
Yeah, fellas, don't be a sweeper, all right?
Because a sweeper, you get put in the group chat.
Oh boy, bro!
I feel like I feel like we all been put in the group chat for different. I've been put in the group chat good and bad. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, of course. We all have.
You know what I mean? But like, don't be that guy that gets constantly like, oh my God, can you believe he said this? Can you believe he said? Because girls screenshot everything.
Yo, have you ever looked in a chick's group chat?
Yeah. I had.
I've never, but that has to be like the scariest thing. I'm sure chicks group chat got to be crazy.
First of all, they feeling you. The one things girls always say, what's his page? What's his IG? And they start screenshotting your images and then they get to investigating. Because that's what happened with one of my exes. Like she told her friends about me. She was I don't want to say the group she was in college, because then it would just single her out, like, okay, you know. But anyway, she showed it to the group chat. They did a little investigation. They found a blog I did, like on. Bro, I'm like, damn, like how they found that? Like,
bro, when they go to investigate, they could become Sherlock Holmes, bro.
Yeah, so I'm like, what? Like, you found something 7, 8 years ago? I was like, okay. I was like, they put in the group. They was digging. So, and then they, but okay, yeah, he good, he nice, I like him, blah blah blah. So they do preliminaries for the girl, because they're like, oh, she too old, head over heels. Like, we need to see how he is first, you know what I'm saying? So girls do all that, and then if y'all talking about certain things too, first of all, they always tell about sexual experiences, so you cannot come whack.
Oh, hell no.
Listen, Jamal never come, well, you know what I mean? But you cannot come whack, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because that's getting put in the group chat easy. I'm telling you right now. Your sexual experience get put in there, your looks get put in there, your status when you get put in there. So they, you know, they girls ask you making money. They ask what you do.
Definitely what you do.
They always tell them, if you got any exes on the side, let them know. You know, they ask the questions for the woman that you're dating first. So if you see a woman ask you these things, it's because she already put in the group chat and she's about to relay it back to them. Like, yeah, he good, he clean, the background check is cool. Yeah. And some girls be like, he sounds too good to be true. So that's when they start digging a little bit more. And they check who you follow. A lot of girls check who you follow.
Okay, yeah.
They check who you follow. And back then, oh my God, like, I know we're kind of pressed for time, but I had to tell you one story. When Instagram had the activity thing, where you could see who you liked and stuff.
Yo, that time was crazy.
My ex was always screenshotting the girls that I was liking. And then she would go on their stories, and they used to be like, oh, is everything all right with you and your girlfriend? I'm like, yeah. And like, well, she's in my stories. And I'm like, why you in the stories? She's like, why you liking her stuff so much? I'm just trying to see the hype. I'm trying to see what you dealing with. Don't talk to her no more. I'm like, sheesh. It was like that. And I was like, I was so happy Instagram. It was a blessing and a curse. For blessing, because it helped me with my photography a lot. That's when I had my 20K followers and things like that. And I was working with all these brands and stuff. So like when a celebrity and stuff used to like your stuff, all their followers used to come and stuff. So I missed that for that reason, because the algorithm is all messed up. But whatever, that's another story. The curse was just the screenshots, and now she has names of people. You know what I mean? Like, I hated that. So I had an ex that was doing that, like checking your activity because of things of that nature. You know what I mean? So like insecurity, but. Yeah, that's because don't ever be in a group chat, man, for the wrong reasons. Like,
yo.
And if a girl don't have a group chat,
does that even exist?
She probably got some guy friends that are just waiting to get called up. So, give or take.
Does that even exist though? Like a chick who don't have a group chat? I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she don't have a group chat. That means she got guy friends who are waiting to get called up. That's what I'm just saying. If a girl don't have a group chat, that means she got guy friends. That's waiting to get called. That means she tells all of her guy friends what's going on, so she get a male perspective of things. Some girls have group chats and guy friends, but sometimes the guy friends are niggas that they fuck with.
Yeah.
So most of the girls that have group chats, they don't really have guy friends like that. They have girls they always go out and have fun with most of the time. And you know, some guys text them, but they don't call them their friends. They might have good conversation, but they had history with them, so they wouldn't call them their friends.
Do you would you date a girl who got, you know, guy friends and whatnot? Now, I'm not saying having guy friends is bad. But, you know, like you and Melissa, you guys are friends, right?
Yeah.
But that's a rare chance. That's a rare instances where the guy isn't waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean,
can you? Not say would you, but can you?
It depends, because I've been in a situation where I dated a girl that had guy friends, and it was cool. And then I dated a girl who had guy friends that she had history with, but she was squaring up and down. There was nothing going on.
Yeah.
And per se, nothing physically was going on, but there was still some slick comments of certain things that happened between them that I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, nah.
Cut up. Done. Yeah.
You know, so I per se, like, I have to do more extensive research. I got to meet them. Because you know, if I'm not dating an ugly chick, So it's like, and you're not, you know what I mean? You're not in the lake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why is it that y'all cool like that? You know what I mean? I have to know for those reasons. You know what I mean? Like, are you waiting to get called up? Are you just dirty Mac and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I gotta make sure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I got homegirls and stuff that I never did anything with. So I would want them to respect them in a sense where it's okay. You know what I mean? But in an instance, it all depends on the history of the relationship. So that's just what it is. Okay. It all depends on the history. Like you said, like you gotta vet them, you gotta understand like what's going on. Because you know, some guys are just they just ghost. They dirty Mac a lot. So this was good, bro.
Yo, bro.
I need you back on the pod. You know what I'm saying?
Time and place, bro.
Listen, man.
Time and place.
I'm about to do an Instagram challenge after this pod is like right now. Like I'm about to see how many push-ups I can do. How many push-ups you do. Listen, if I'm about to do 20, he can't do 20. So I'm gonna post that on the gram.
I bet.
Nah, I'm joking. I fuck with it. But it's been all good, Brody.
Yo.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, bro.
It's episode 3. Do you know who I am? It's your boy Jay Legend. It's your boy Malcolm. Follow him on Instagram. Cool story, bro. He got mad arts to his name, so we're gonna drop that under the thing. But,
I do got mad wise in my name.
Yeah, so it's been a great episode. We're gonna have him back on the pod. You got any questions for him in the future? Let me know. And it's your boy Jay Legend. I'm out.
Everybody can't come up here. Brooklyn.